So welcome to Jumbo Wires and welcome to our lecture series called Daily News in Shorts. In this lecture series, we cover a particular day's current affairs in a short span of time. Now, needless to say this, you have to revise this lecture just after watching it because most of you just watch the lecture. Because if you just watch the lecture, well, all these current affairs that we'll discuss will quickly skip your memory and you have to solidify them in your memory at least till your exams. Therefore, revision is extremely important. Now, you can revise these current affairs from the notes provided by us, and these notes shall be shared on our Telegram channel. The link to our Telegram channel is provided in the comment section below. Okay, so please do not forget to revise the lecture from the notes. All right then, enough of the introduction. Let's straight away jump into the lecture. But first, let's take a look at the list of topics that we shall cover today. Okay, so let's begin. So daily current affairs, 9th of December, Tuesday, and here is the topics list. So number one, as you all know, there is this huge debate in the parliament with respect to Vande Matram, the national song of India. So we'll talk about the Vande Matram debate. Okay. Then the second topic is where skirmishes or military strikes between Thailand and Cambodia. Okay. So we'll talk about their dispute. What is the reason behind both these two countries fighting? Then topic number three is, well, actually China and Japan are also fighting. So we'll talk about this dispute as well. And in the end, we'll talk about coup attempt in Africa's Benin, a country close to Nigeria, neighboring country to Nigeria. Okay, so these are the four topics. Topic number one is related to modern history of portion of your UPSC syllabus. Topic number two is related to international relations. Topic number three again related to international relations, and topic number four again related to international relations portion of your UPSC syllabus. So it's going to be an international relations heavy lecture. Nonetheless, we have to cover everything. So these are the four news items. Let's start discussing them one by one, starting with topic number one, and that is the Vande Matram debate. Okay. So Vande Matram, national song of India, it was designated national song of India, though many people were saying, let's make Vande Matram national anthem. Instead of Jana Gana Mana, let's make Vande Matram national anthem. But our constitution makers decided against it because there were certain controversial portions in Vande Matram that had to be deleted for this to become national song, and that was the reason why it never became national anthem. Okay. Nonetheless, it was given the status of national song and equal status. But as far as its legal and constitutional status is concerned, national anthem is way superior to national song Vande Matram. Okay. So in this topic, we will talk about the controversial portions of Vande Matram song, okay? And we'll also talk about the constitutional status of Vande Matram and how does it compare with national anthem? What sort of constitutional and legal status Jana Gana Mana has, and what sort of constitutional and legal status national song has, okay? Vande Matram has. So we'll talk about this entire debate. So it is going to be loaded with some key information, some key facts. Take close attention and remember those facts, okay? Because an MCQ can be asked, because Vande Matram is very famous this year. This was the 150th anniversary year of Vande Matram, 2025. So that is why it becomes pertinent, and there are chances that questions related to that can be asked in your examination. Okay, so let's discuss Vande Matram. So yeah, the Vande Matram debate. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi initiated a discussion in Lok Sabha to commemorate 150 years of national song Vande Matram. So this national song Vande Matram was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in his novel called Anand Mat. Okay, and he wrote it on 7th November 1875. So 7th November 2025 marked 150th anniversary. Okay, that is why a discussion is being conducted in the winter session of Parliament. Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the song an inspiration to all Indians and accused the Congress of fracturing the song by giving in to the demands of Muslim League. Well, you need to know this. We'll talk about this in detail. Well, the entire Vande Matram song had certain controversial portions which were objected to by the Muslim community. Therefore, in 1937, Congress decided to delete those portions. Only the first two stanzas of Vande Matram song is allowed to be sung in public places. The other two stanzas are basically somehow deleted from national song. Okay, though it was a long song, but only first two stanzas are considered national song. So Prime Minister Modi is basically accusing Congress of this only, that you deleted Vande Matram song, deleting its spirit, and because those stanzas were objected to by Muslim League and various other organizations of Muslims. That is why you gave into their demand. You gave into the demand of Muslim League and you decided to delete those stanzas. That is the entire controversy. So we'll talk in detail about this controversy. First, let's gather some facts about Vande Matram song and its constitutional status. Okay. So about the song. So Vande Matram basically translates to Mother, I bow to thee. Okay. I bow to you, Mother. And basically mother over here is motherland. Okay. It's not individual mother, it's motherland. Ma Bharati, Mother India, basically. And is India's national song. It was composed in highly Sanskritized Bengali by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee or Chattopadhyay in 1875, and it was part of his novel called Anandmat. First, this novel was published in 1882, though he wrote it in 1875, but it was published in Anandmat. And later, this song became the rallying cry of all freedom fighters. That is the significance of this song, which drew on 18th century Sannyasi rebellion and the revolt of 1857 for inspiration. So Anand Math wrote about a particular rebellion against the British rule, which was called Sannyasi rebellion. Okay, the novel was about that, and in that novel there was this song, which became the rallying cry for all freedom fighters. Okay, role in freedom struggle. The song became a rallying cry during the national movement and was adopted by Indian National Congress in 1905. Remember this date. Vande Matram was adopted by Indian National Congress as the national song in 1905 to kindle nationalist feeling for motherland. Okay, now, what is its status after independence? So basically the thing is, because it had certain controversial portions, especially after stanza 2, that is why it was decided that let's not make this song the national anthem of India. Though many were supporting it as national anthem, but it was decided that since these later stanzas basically are outrageous for certain communities, certain religious communities, so let's make Jana Gana Mana the national anthem because it is more secular in character. Okay, but there was this huge sentiment attached with national song Vande Matram. That is why in Constituent Assembly, the President of Constituent Assembly, Rajendra Prasad, clarified that it will be given equal status with Jana Gana Mana. Jana Gana Mana would be national anthem, Vande Matram national song. Okay, equal status. But this equal status is in name only. There is no constitutional status, there is no legal status for Vande Matram. But there is constitutional status and legal status for Jana Gana Mana. How so? Article 51A, fundamental duties, make it a fundamental duty of every citizen to respect national flag and national anthem. They didn't talk about national song. Okay, so national song is absent from here. National anthem is present. Orders relating to national anthem of India. Okay, basically this is a government order which says how national anthem should be sung, what are the rules and regulations you should stand. All of this is as per government order. Then there is a law also. Prevention of Insults to National Honor Act, which provides penalties for insult to flag, national anthem, but no penalty for Vande Matram national song. Okay, so that was the thing. So though it was given equal status, but it is absent from constitutional safeguards and legal safeguards. And that is what Prime Minister Modi is referring to also. Now, the reason why Jana Gana Mana took precedence, it was made the national anthem, despite the fact that Vande Matram had more sentimental value. Jana Gana Mana was made the national anthem. Number one, because of its, because of its secular character. There is no religious symbolism in Jana Gana Mana, whereas there is religious symbolism in Vande Matram. Plus, Jana Gana Mana was neutral. It took all other communities along with it. But Vande Matram was, it is alleged, that was specifically targeted towards Hindu community because Hindu symbols were used in that. That is why Jana Gana Mana was given precedence. By the way, in your notes, I have shared this table also, which gives a comparison of Vande Matram national song and Jana Gana Mana. So do go through this. Okay. And what are those controversial provisions with respect to Vande Matram? Vande Matram objections. Let's read it out carefully. So Vande Matram faced objections mainly because its later stanzas depict nation as a Hindu goddess and use temple worship imagery, which many Muslims and other monotheists viewed it as idol worship, okay, and theologically unacceptable. Muslim community considers idol worship as kufr. It is tawheed for them. For many Muslim leaders and organizations, including Muslim League, this amounted to promoting idol worship, which conflicts with their Islamic doctrine of tawheed. Tawheed. Tawheed means absolute faith in one God, that is Allah, and prohibition on defying any being or object. Basically, they are against idol worship, but in Vande Matram, idol worship symbols were used to depict Mother India. That is why in 1937, Congress Working Committee resolved that when Vande Matram is sung at national gatherings, only the first two stanzas should be sung. The other two stanzas should be deleted. So only the first two stanzas of Vande Matram are considered national song. You must have heard about this. Sujalam, Sufalam, Malayaja Sheetalam, right? So only the first two stanzas are national song. The other two, well, involves Durga worship and many other Hindu symbols, which other religious communities objected to, and that is why Congress deleted them from the national song. That is the entire issue. That is why there is a debate going on. Okay, but you need to be aware of certain facts, like facts about Vande Matram, who wrote it, when was it written, in which novel, and its constitutional status and comparison with national anthem. Make sense, right? Okay. Now let's quickly move to second news item, and that is Thailand strikes Cambodia. Okay. Now, the thing is that the dispute between the two countries, Thailand and Cambodia, well, started in May. Okay. Both of them had border skirmishes, things happened. Then Donald Trump mediated a ceasefire between them. Then there was ceasefire. Then shortly after that ceasefire, again, both countries started fighting. And why are they fighting? Well, the reason is it is a border dispute. And on that border, there is an ancient 11th, 12th century temple, which is now a Buddhist temple, but initially was a Hindu temple. Okay. That temple lies in that disputed region. And both countries follow Buddhism. Okay. And they claim that temple. Legally speaking, that temple belongs to Cambodia. But Thailand has been objecting to that legal principle. And the reason is, well, Cambodia was ruled by the French and they defeated Thailand kingdom, which was called Siam. And they took that area and divided the two countries. Okay. Earlier, the two countries were part of one mega empire, Khmer Empire. But then after colonization and all, Thailand, Siam was separated and this area was brought into French Cambodia. Then Cambodia got independence. And ever since that day, both countries are fighting, claiming that Priya Vihar temple, that temple. Okay. Now, both countries have started fighting again. That is why we need to know about this temple, which is at the core of the dispute, as well as the international legal position with respect to that border dispute. Okay. And the reasons why both countries are stoking up their nationalism. Why is there so much hatred towards each other? Okay. So let's talk about Thailand-Cambodia conflict. So Thailand strikes Cambodia. Okay, so what was in the news? Thailand launched airstrikes on military targets inside Cambodia after at least 2 Thai soldiers were allegedly killed in Cambodian firing along the border. So Thailand says that Cambodia started firing and that is why we have responded with military strikes. This comes barely weeks after an October peace deal brokered by Malaysia and supervised by Donald Trump. Okay, following earlier clashes that killed 48 people. So they fought earlier, which killed 48 people, displaced many. There was a ceasefire brokered by Malaysia and Donald Trump, and then they have started fighting again. Now, why are they fighting? Well, at the heart of this fighting is this temple complex, which was built around 11th, 12th century CE, and it was built during Khmer Empire. Khmer Empire, who ruled over both Thailand and Cambodia. And this Khmer Empire's ruler, Suryavarman, built this temple. It was earlier a Shiva temple, but later, since both these countries converted to Buddhism, then it got associated with Buddhist symbols and all. Nonetheless, this temple is pretty sacred for both populations. Okay, now what happened? You see, as far as Thailand is concerned, its ancient name was Siam, the kingdom of Siam, which still continues. Okay, Cambodia was colonized by the French. Now, when Cambodia was also not colonized by French and Siam kingdom was there, Siam controlled this area, this particular Pre-Vihar temple. But then when France colonized Cambodia, they started pushing Thailand back, okay, and took over this area and partitioned, basically created a border in 1907. Now, as per that border, this entire territory was given to Cambodia, and this Priya Vihar temple was given to Cambodia. But Thailand objects that the principle, watershed principle for dividing two territories, which was used by France to divide all the other territories, was not applied over here properly. So this Priya Vihar temple belongs to us. Thailand claims it, Cambodia claims it. Legally speaking, it belongs to Cambodia because, well, French basically did the deal, okay? And they got the signatures of Siam Kingdom, which was weak at that time. But they have still objected to this. Then, when Cambodia got independence, well, Thailand occupied this area. Then they went to International Court of Justice, and International Court of Justice said that, well, this temple belongs to Cambodia. So this tussle is going on. Okay, so let's read more about this, gather some information. So Priya Vihar temple, an 11th-12th century Khmer Hindu temple, sits near the border and is revered as both a cultural symbol and religious site in both countries. Both countries follow Theravada Buddhism, which is called Heenyan in India. Heenyan and Mahayana. So they follow Heenyan Theravada Buddhism. Both of them follow this, and both these countries claim this temple. Cambodia ceded the area around Priya Vihar to Siam in 1867, but French colonial mapping in 1907 placed the temple in Cambodia. So Siam took it from Cambodia, then French took it from Siam and gave it to Cambodia. This was despite an earlier watershed-based border principle that would have favored Siam. Siam says that you didn't apply the proper division principle. Siam, weakened by French expansion, initially offered little resistance. They didn't say anything, they signed on the document, but seized the temple in 1941 while aligned with Japan. So they aligned with Japan, and Japan was on the rise during World War II. So they took control of this temple. But Japan lost in World War II. So, well, they had to give up control. Clear? So this is the thing. Now, what is the legal dispute? After Cambodian independence, Thai troops occupied this temple in 1954, prompting Cambodia to go to International Court of Justice in 1962, and International Court of Justice gave this temple to Cambodia. Okay. Tensions revived in 2008, then 2013, and, well, Thailand has refused to acknowledge the judgment given by ICJ. And what happens is, whenever, well, a ruling party is ruling over Thailand, the opposition party blamed the ruling party for giving up on this temple. Okay, this always happens. Politicians use nationalism, use religious nationalism to put pressure on the ruling party, and then ruling party has to respond. Same happens in Cambodia. This is at the heart of the dispute. Okay, it's religious nationalism. Clear? So this is the thing. More details are given in your notes, so do check that out. All right. And now let's quickly shift our focus to third news item, and that is China-Japan radar row. Okay. Now what happened? You see, the thing is, well, Japan was flying its jets, and China was also flying its fighter jets nearby. Now, whenever a fighter jet is about to target a particular fighter aircraft, enemy aircraft, for missiles, it first identifies the exact location of that enemy aircraft and then only fires the missile. Now, to correctly identify the exact location, well, you need a particular radar called fire control radar. Beams of fire control radar are splashed on the enemy aircraft just before firing. Now, Japan says that China fired fire control radar on their aircraft, which meant that China was about to fire missiles. China denies the claim. Japan says that this was a provocative action. Okay, and both these countries were flying over disputed islands between Japan and China, which are Senkaku Islands. Okay, we'll take a look at Senkaku Islands from the map. But that was the situation. China says that we didn't do anything against international law. Japan says that this was provocative action. A month earlier, Japanese PM also said that if China attacks Taiwan, we will have to get our military involved. We will attack China. Basically, that's what they said. So this provoked China. That's why they did this. Now Japan says this is provocative. All of this is going on. Now, what is important for us? Well, the entire location of that region where this dispute took place is important for us. Map-based questions are asked in UPSC. So location is important, and the dispute between the two countries is important. So let's quickly finish this topic. Okay. So China-Japan radar row. And we also need to know about, well, radars, different types of radars. Radars used to launch missiles. Radars used to just search for enemies. Okay. So what was in the news? Chinese J-15 fighter jets twice directed fire control radar at Japanese self-defense force aircraft near Okinawa. Okinawa is an island in Senkaku Islands, which is the disputed territory. Basically, it is under Japanese control, but China claims it. Okay, prompting Japan to lodge a strong diplomatic protest and label the actions dangerous and regrettable. Okay, this happened. Now, first you need to know about this fire control radar. So basically, fighter aircrafts use two types of radars. One is called search radar. These are just to locate enemy fighter aircrafts, just to locate. But when you are about to launch a missile, you need the precise location of the enemy aircraft. So search will only identify where is the aircraft. But for precise location, you need fire control radars. Fire control radars are generally fired only just before a missile launch. So whenever a fire control radar beam comes to you, it means a missile is also coming. And you become scared and you take defensive maneuvers. That's what happened to Japan. Okay, so remember the difference between these two radars, search and fire control. While search radar sends out a long pulse of energy for general surveillance over wide area, fire control radar sends out short pulses that can measure target data with high precision. Fire control radar is used to track a specific target and provide data for weapon guidance. It provides guidance to your missile. Illuminating another aircraft with such radar, when you fire a fire control radar, it means it is widely viewed as threat. That means a missile is coming. And when a missile is coming, well, the targeted aircraft has to undertake defensive maneuvers. And Japanese aircraft had to conduct defensive maneuvers. But this is considered provocative. Okay, China almost, well, cocked the gun on Japan. Didn't fire it, but just cocked the gun. Okay, so that is provocative. That's what happened. Now, where it happened? It happened in this area. Okay, this area. This area is close to Taiwan, China, and Japan. These island chains, this Okinawa island, these island chains are currently under Japanese control but claimed by China. Okay, this is the region of Indo-Pacific or South China Sea. Over there it's East China Sea, but Taiwan, Japan, and China, they are involved in a triple threat match. Okay, Japan has said that if China invades Taiwan, we will also come. That was considered provocative by China. So this is the entire issue. Okay, so yeah. By the way, more details, significance of this move is given in your notes, so do check your notes out. And we will quickly shift our focus to another international relations related news item, but it's also important for map-based questions as well. Map-based MCQs are asked in your exams. Okay, so it's important from that perspective as well. And that news is coup attempt in Africa's Benin. Now, most of you have not even heard about Benin, but it's a West African country bordering Nigeria and many other countries. Well, there was a failed coup attempt. Okay, so there was an attempt to overthrow the government in Benin, and Nigeria came in to stop that coup. Nigeria did not want that coup. Clear? Now, what is important for us? Well, the important fact for us is not to know what are the factors, geopolitical factors for that coup. What is important for us is to be familiar with the location of the entire area. Okay, and know certain facts about Benin, because an MCQ can be asked. So we'll focus only on that. All right? Okay, then let's begin. So yeah, coup attempt in Africa's Benin. So what was in the news? A coup attempt occurred in Benin on December 7 when mutinous soldiers from Togbin military base seized state television, announced the overthrow of President Patrice Talon's government. The plot was foiled within hours through rapid intervention by the president and Nigeria. Okay, these rebels were saying that Islamist invasion is going to happen from our north, so we have to throw this weak president out and take control. Nigeria didn't want that, and that is why they intervened, rolled their tanks, fighter jets. Now, about the geographical location of Benin. So as you can see, this is the area. So this is Benin. Okay, Nigeria is over here. So remember which countries are bordering Benin: Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Togo. Okay, Islamist radical terrorists are found in Niger and Burkina Faso. Okay, so it faces Islamist radicalism in its northern areas, Benin. Okay, so remember this location. By the way, its coastline is, well, it is not landlocked. Burkina Faso is, Niger is. So it has the benefit of coastline facing Atlantic Ocean. Okay, now certain facts about Benin. So Benin, officially Republic of Benin, is the West African coastal nation strategically located between Togo and Nigeria. serving as a key trade corridor for landlocked neighbors in this Sahel region. This region is called Sahel region. Its capital official language is French because it was colonized by French. Its demography, well, 50% plus Christian, 27% Muslim, and 12% ancient, their own religion, tribal religion. Security threats, faces jihadist threats from northern Niger. Okay, so it had a Dahomey kingdom which was involved in slave trade. This African kingdom sold African slaves to Europeans. Then it was colonized by French. Then it got independence in 1960. These are a few facts that you need to remember. Just take a look at these facts from the notes. All right. And that would be all. With that, we conclude today's session. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. And I'm sure it has added value to your preparation. But please do not forget to revise it from the notes. That is extremely important. On that note, I'll be signing off with the promise of seeing you again with another set of news items. Thank you, everyone.